It's the Think High crew, yeah. Yo, it's the Think High crew, what up? Yeah, it's the Think High crew, you know. It's the Think High crew, what up? It's the Think High crew, yeah. It's the Think High crew, yeah. 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 Think High crew, yeah
What's up? What's up?
Ugh.
It's about that time for another fuck around find out Tuesday with Think High Crew. Not the Think High Crew, but just Think High Crew. I always say that, man. I always say the Think High. I'm like, nah, man, it ain't the Think High Crew. It's Think High
just with just with the Kaiku. Grand Rising gods and goddesses. We back with another fuck around, find out Tuesday. And I fucked around and found out all weekend that I ain't worth shit when I'm fucking ill.
Crew.
Oh man, I thought I was gonna be doing some fun shit. Oh wait. I did. You know, before I got ill and was out of commission, I did lay down a track and it did get mixed and mastered this weekend. I sent it to you, but I don't even know if you get a chance to listen to it because I know you was
Bro,
dealing.
I was gonna listen to that thing and then them chemicals hit me and I ain't know where the fuck I was. I'm serious. Good
Yeah,
lord.
yeah.
But
So,
yeah, man, it was a time. It was definitely a
oh yeah,
time.
I went. You know, I visited our local physicians. You know, right down the street from me here. You know, because I wanted some fluids and I couldn't hold down water right. And, you know, they asked me like 6 times, could they give me a goddamn COVID test? I'm like,
Wow.
bro, why do you want to give me this goddamn test? I'm like,
Still
well,
no. It's
and
still gonna be no.
they're like,
Because they
well,
want to they want to be able to charge you like five hundred
exactly.
dollars
Well,
for
it's
it.
gonna be, yeah, they're gonna charge
A
my
box
insurance.
test.
Yeah, yep. But it's stupid as hell because I wanted to. He said, well, we want to see if it's viral or not, and I'm asking the dude, well, what did y'all do prior to COVID to find out if something was bacterial or viral, my nigga? Do that.
Right.
What the fuck
That's
is you
crazy.
talking about? You need to figure out if it's viral or not. Well, y'all got many ways. You just took like 8 vials of fucking blood, my nigga. Dude, go
Right.
ahead and
Yeah.
send it to the lab or whatever the fuck you got to
They
do.
got to
Yeah,
use them COVID tests. They got so many of them made up.
I know,
Fucking,
right?
they got to spend that budget for them. It's
Oh
crazy.
yeah, they asked me like, I'm like, damn, bro. Like, how many times every nurse asked me? I'm like, you know what? It's fucking retarded.
Yeah.
What's up,
Well.
Megawatt Grand
Yeah.
Rising?
What's up, Megawatt? How you today?
Just waking up.
I hear you. That's how it is on the West Coast.
Y'all
Man,
motherfuckers
Y'all
is.
lazy. Y'all sleep till
wow.
8 in the morning. What's
The
wrong with
first
y'all?
5 minutes is two men telling us how they can't get nothing done, and I'm gonna be the lazy one. All right,
Well, I was
Right.
I couldn't
all
get nothing
right.
done because I was sick as fuck.
Well, I was
You
put down by I was put down by chemicals.
He was
sick
I
men
chemical.
literally
are
had to
no
call the.
sick
I had
men.
to call the
Men are no
fucking.
fun.
I know
Oh
you right.
no, no, it's terrible.
We're big old
But yeah,
babies.
so we got a good everybody, all the everybody listening. We have a really good episode today. We're gonna dig deep into some stuff that's kind of just came to light for some, and some kind of known this shit the whole time, right? Right, Megawatt?
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. So, I mean, I sound crazy a lot of the time, and the people that don't know me and last year, the people that I worked with really probably thought I was hitting some kind of chemicals hard, but it
Hmm.
was really me just tuning into some energies, and they were surrounding Puff Daddy, and I could
Mm.
not stop talking about him. I was literally obsessed with it. I was looking at his chart. I was talking about him. When certain people were talked about, I would bring him up again, and I don't know if I even really understood, what I was even doing necessarily. It's just that the energies were just hovering and lingering around, and I was just picking up on them. And
Right.
one of my coworkers just was like, "What is your problem?" And I'm like, "I don't really know."
Well, let me stop you right there. And before
Okay.
you get any further, let's hit the numbers and the astrology, and then we'll get into this whole Diddy thing.
Take the
I don't, by the way, I don't think this is something you can cover in
one
one
episode. Mm-mm.
episode. And what I'm going to try to do today, if I can, is I'm just going to lay some foundational information at a place where we can maybe come back and pick it up.
Yeah, and then maybe
I
like
like that.
kind of leave it to where people can go look up
Yeah,
some
because
shit for
it's a
themselves, and then
Yeah, I
when we
lot.
like.
come back,
Great
It's a lot.
idea, Meg. Wow, shit, that's a good idea. I
It's a
like that.
lot. And
But it
like I
also
could
builds
just
suspense for the next episode about
Well,
it.
I
You
could
know.
just blather it all out there, but I think people would be like, "What is she doing? What is she talking about?" But I want to just I want to lay some energy work. I want to lay some timelines, and I want to,
Structure.
give people an idea. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not just all this information. It's gonna have some
right?
structure and reasoning and information and a whole bunch of shit behind it, obviously. But yeah, we got y'all today. We back for another fuck around, find out Tuesday with the gods and goddesses you love to hate and hate the motherfucking love. Today is Tuesday. Oh shit, the 21st. And on this 21st, I would call it a three. Some would still use it as a break it down. Today will be about socializing in the arts. Creative self will be of higher importance than normal. Optimism, tolerance, inspiration also will be in your atmosphere. And interest in the arts, I already said that, tend to be enhanced today. I already said that. But if you wanted to break down the 21, the 21st of the month is another compound number with three as, energies are in it all the way. The dominant one is the number three, but two and one must also be considered. Whichever way you slice it, like I was saying, two and one make three, which means that both 21 and three are a blend of assertiveness and creativity. So to break it down a little bit further for you, and then I'll pass it Digi to the right hand side. It'll be a very complex energy for a global day three. It takes the duality of yesterday and the drive of the day prior to that, and it kind of smashes them all together. And for a person like me, just speaking personally, I was all fucked up, sick. I was ill to my stomach. Think I needed a reset. But my body gave me that, and now I gotta catch up on everything. So the result is moody and diplomatic, intense and carefree, instantaneous and impatient. So it's all of it in one. And I can tell you, haven't been dealing with that all fucking day. Three can really mess with your plans. Oh my gosh, god damn it! I should have read this before I fucking woke up today, which is impossible. But anyways, mess with your plans because it's impulse and frivolous and not particularly responsible either. So people may seem friendly and gregarious, but there's a lack of depth here. So don't make too many assumptions, especially when it comes to someone's character. It might be in your best interest to delay important decisions until a time when it's best more reliable. That doesn't mean that the day is full of suspicion, though. Creative endeavors will also have a light and vibrant energy to them, provided that they hold your attention long enough for you to get them done. Distractions could be your downfall, or basically, well, I guess you would say distractions would be more of a thing to make you lose your temper today. So to deal with that, just look no further than yourself and your personal cycle numbers, and then you'll know how to deal with today's energy of the tres. And that's it for the numbers, guys. I'll pass that digi to the right hand side and let Megawatt give us the planets and the stars and maybe the
All
cards.
right.
Hey.
Just a quick question here. Have you guys ever had a Napoleon cake?
Yes.
Oh, you have
Yes, I
cake.
have.
Perfect. So, what is the basis of the cake? Can you tell me?
Oh, is it chocolate or vanilla? That's what we're
Well,
going
no,
with.
no. Like, how is it made? Like, what,
Mm.
when you're looking at a slice of it, what do you see?
I
I mean, it's got
see.
ice cream, right?
How about layers?
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, I was gonna
yeah,
say different
yeah.
layers,
I,
but
I
I,
was about to
Okay,
say that next. Okay,
there we go.
blocks or
Yeah.
levels.
So it's about 25 different layers of cake and filling and all kind of stuff. And when you're looking at the cake, outside when it's not cut, you cannot
Hmm.
see any of those layers. It looks just like a normal,
Right.
regular old cake. That is how I would explain today. There are
Oh.
so many layers to today. It's really going to be difficult when you're looking at it from a one perspective to see those layers.
Mm.
And until you cut it and you get a bite to eat and taste it, you really cannot determine, just how many layers there is. The sun is in Scorpio at 29 degrees. Okay, so that is an Antarctic degree. It's a finality, it's a learning of a lesson, it's information coming out, it's secrets, it's everything, all these layers all in one place. And it's really hard to describe it. That's why sometimes I use food to describe these things because it gives somebody something they can picture in their mind. And the moon has also moved into Pisces at 0 degrees, and those two are very deep water signs. And so it's representing, like from one coast of the Atlantic Ocean all the way around to the Pacific Ocean on the other side. It's so big you can't even, quantify it basically. So you're not going to really have all the pieces, all the parts. Like thinking that you are, is kind of possibly a mistake, or it could get you, into more work if you don't know what you're working on. So just try to, take assessment of the situation and collect information today if you can. People will have a lot of feelings and they really aren't going to know what to do with them. And the one thing that drives feelings a lot of the time is communication, which Sagittarius is in Mercury, which is the planet of communication. And that person is all over the place. They're up, they're down, they're to the side, they're over here, they're running around. When you see a Sagittarius person, you're just like, what is going on? What are these people doing? Like, they're never going to be able to get anything done because they have so many different energy layers going on that it doesn't even make sense.
Mhm.
It's actually kind of humorous if you want my opinion, but a
it
lot of
is
times
humorous.
they have funky hairstyles, and you're just kind of like, who would think to put your hair like that, or
Can I
whatever.
can I come in with a breaking announcement?
Sure, yeah, go right ahead.
People in Toronto have started to list the other half of their bed to pay for rent due to rising housing market
What?
I
prices.
know. I'm sure they have.
That is crazy.
Wait,
Hmm.
the other
Anyway,
half of their bed?
yeah, you
So
can rent.
San Francisco's next, then.
Yeah.
I think San Francisco's been doing that, but they just hadn't. But
Yeah.
anyway, sorry. I just wanted to say that. I thought that was a
It's
fuck around,
fine.
find out moment.
Yeah, that's some crazy stuff. So, um, it's an interesting combination. You could really just be confused. It could be a good explanation. And if you are an emotional person or you are ruled by one of these water signs, you could be like, I can't even deal with this right now. I can't even deal with life. So um, try to know that it's, a fleeting short moment, and that there'll be some reprieve from these things. And I think that people who aren't ruled by those and are not affected negatively by it, they're going to be the ones that are like taking control and trying to get things done, but it won't be in a way that necessarily comes out the way they want because they're too focused on what their goal is and only their goal, and it's going to drive people, into bigger conversations, more infighting and more like poor communication. Because when one person tries to tell everyone else what to do, you get that backbiting and talking behind their back, and just a failed attempt at action, basically. So does that make sense, or
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
No, that sounds like exactly what the energy is looking like.
We have for the cards, I have all swords. I have all the cards I pulled are in the suit of swords, which is kind of weird. I don't generally get that. So the first card I have out is the Ten of Swords. And with that, you're kind of looking at painful endings, feeling like you might have been backstabbed, to work on healing and find hope and resiliency. The next card I have is the Six of Swords, and that is a time of transitional help might arrive at the perfect time. You might be dealing with endings, healing, moving beyond trauma, or support from another person, personal evolution, or a spiritual journey that is at hand. And then my last one is the Page of Swords. And knights, queens, kings, and pages, those are the court cards in the decks. And a lot of times the page is kind of like the youngest energy, so it could represent you thinking you have a lot of information, but it's really not quite all formed yet.
Right.
It's restless energy, curiosity, thirst for information, learning of new things, apprentice, student, intellectual pursuits, ideas, and messages. So that's how the cards kind of worked out today. Let me just look at one more thing in the sky. Yeah, there's just there's a couple oppositions, but there's not as many tight squares and angles in the chart today. And Aries people could be a little bossy today, I'm not gonna lie. So just keep that in mind. All right. Any questions?
No. I'm
All
ready
of
to
these
dive in.
all of these cards have the interesting thing about all these cards, they all have birds on them. And when I see things like that, it means that like messages are going to be coming in on the wind. So you could get a lot of like walking by a conversation and hearing something that you need to hear. You could get like some weird person you don't know coming up and saying a statement to you that they don't know why they're saying it or what they're saying, but it means something to you. So try to tune into those people or places that may seem non-important or not really relevant, and you might be able to pick up some help or energies. You might hear a commercial for something that you've heard like 10 times, and you hear it today and you're like, oh, I needed that information, something like that. Hello? I can't hear y'all if y'all are talking. Hello? Hello? Jason, Nova, anyone, are you there?
My bad. I'm here.
Okay.
I don't I don't know what was going on there. I had got a
I don't
phone
know,
call,
that was
but
weird. It's like I entered the void. So were y'all able to hear me okay?
I heard part of it. I was in the void too. I was trying to figure out what
Okay.
the hell was going on. Is Nova there?
I don't know. I was in
Oh,
the
he
middle
might.
of saying that, you could be getting information off of the wind, off of people's conversations, or just people you don't know telling you things, something like that.
Okay. Awesome. Well, shit then. I don't know where this guy went to. You there, Nova? I wonder if he walked out of the room.
It looks like he did because that's how the circle looks when he walks out. So
Yeah, it normally looks like he's probably gonna have to log in from his phone or he's handling something. I know he said he had somebody there for the water softener, but
okay.
I'm about to text him real quick.
Well,
But we
so
can.
how did any of that resonate with you, Jason? Any of that information?
Oh yeah, most definitely it did. It definitely matches up with the numbers, and it also resonates with exactly what I've been going through. If I told you what I was going through this morning, you'd be like, "Oh shit, well, damn."
All right. Well, I just like to know because sometimes I feel like I'm just kind of pulling things myself out of the air, and I just like to kind of check and see if my
No, it's a
temperature is
global
correct.
thing, right? It's a
Yeah.
global thing. I mean, like you might be right for a bunch of different people, and then there's gonna be exceptions to the you know what I mean? Because depending
Mhm.
on who's receiving the information, their perception and everything like that, it might change. But for me, when you're normally on point when you're talking about that, because I've been spending all morning trying to get this one thing done, and the amount of bullshit to stop me from getting it done, it was unbelievable. Like it just
Mhm.
didn't stop, one after the other. You know what I mean? And I'm just like,
Yep.
what is going on today? You know what I mean? What is it? What is it with today? It just got to be in the fucking stars or something. I
Yep.
just need to just calm down. Like like you said, don't try to take in too much information from so and so and over here and over there. Just fucking maybe even save it for tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like, but that's how it's been for me this morning. So I'll definitely resonate with what you were talking about.
Okay. I guess I can maybe start if you guys want to do that. Does anyone
Yeah,
have
that's.
any or were there any questions in the chat or anything?
No, I didn't see any.
Okay. Um
Nope.
all right. Well, I'm going
I
to talk
just I just text no to see if he was good. He was all
okay.
right.
I'm going to talk just a
Oh
minute
yeah.
about
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. He said he just needs a couple minutes. Go ahead.
okay. I'm just going to talk for a minute about energies. So I don't know if y'all follow astrology or if this is, just something you think is kind of, off topic or weird, but each one of the signs that represents, the months of the year, they all hold specific energies. And when you meet a person, even though you don't might not know their sign or when their birthday is, when they start presenting through talking or their actions or even hand movements or facial movements, you can start to see some of those energetic um, imprints showing up through the person. And I taught myself astrology all on my own, so I had to use people that I met in my daily life and people that I worked with and family members to sort of make up profiles, if you will, and
Mm-hmm.
see what key factors were associated with different energies. Because I didn't have a teacher
Right.
or a person who could, give me assignments. I had to like go and sort all this stuff out on my own. So I would keep copious notes. I had many notebooks. I had a notebook for each sign, and then I would write down the people that I met, and I started to get really good at identifying who these people were that I was working with, or who my neighbor was, and different things like that,
Right.
just to you know keep uh, keep myself informed, I guess.
Right.
I'm a big I'm a big proponent of the more the better off you'll be. So,
Yeah.
knowing that your neighbor is super meticulous about where you put your garbage can, can save you from an
Yeah.
altercation with them later down the road.
Nowadays, to save you from getting shot by them.
Exactly.
Like,
So,
jeez, yeah.
I started to learn all that, and then when I started to have a good base of information, my guides, when I would meet new people, they would show me another person who I knew was already that sign to inform me that, I was talking to this person or I was talking to that person or whatever to help me know. So, and the reason why is like certain people are more upfront and open and forward with information, and certain people are more behind the cuff and they don't really want you to know what they're doing, and they don't really want you to know why they're doing things, and they're on the down low. And in business, that can sometimes be a difficult place to be in, because if you don't know what the other person's intentions are, you could be doing something and think it's one way and have it turn out a completely other way, and the card and the table gets flipped on you.
I have a
So
question for you.
my guides,
It just
huh? Yeah,
I'm sorry. So I have a question for you. It
sure.
kind of just hit me. It might not be. Well, I feel like it's on topic, but I don't know. I'm not sure where you were exactly going, so I can't quite say. Because it seemed like you were coming to your climax. But um, does the 13th month not being there mess up the astrology? Like, how does that work?
No, I don't. I feel like that's kind of just like a newfangled um,
Okay.
idea.
So is some astrologers who've added it into theirs, and some who haven't?
I
Like
would
you.
I would say there's a few that have, but I don't think it holds much weight. I
Okay.
think when you're looking at astrology, it's an archaic form of divination, and
Mm-hmm.
people have been doing it since Egyptian times, since Greek
Yes.
times, Roman
Well, I mean,
times.
if you like Harry Potter, you know what divination is. Shit.
Exactly. So for me, adding in a 13th month is more convoluted and messy. And I think what it does is it gives unsure people an extra box to incorporate things that don't fit for them. So for example, you could have a person who's a Gemini sun and they are a Capricorn moon, and then they have like a water rising, okay? And that's like a really confusing
Right.
composite structure of a person,
Right.
because they can't quite fit into any one sector fully,
Right.
and
Right.
they have different variations of themselves doing different things. So for me, when I see people talking about the 13th sign, it's like they don't have a clear enough structure or understanding of it, so they're adding that in to help
Right.
themselves.
Is
I
it possible that adding or you could have a 13th sign without in kind of including it in the chart type shit? You know what I mean? Like, or is it like, well, because a lot of them believe it exists because if you were to add a 13th month, that would make every month exactly 30 days and shit like
right.
that. But you know what I mean?
Well,
But I think,
the interesting thing about that is that if you're looking at a month and you started on the first and you ended on the last day, that's not how astrology
right,
is set up.
right,
It ends on the equinoxes,
right.
and the equinoxes are important for a reason, because that is
I
the
got you
time of
now.
change. So you would mess that up if you
Yes, yes, I got you. Yeah, now it
yeah.
makes more sense because you're not looking at it as
Mm-mm.
day by 30
No.
days or
No,
28
no,
days.
no.
You're looking at it through the equinoxes. And I mean,
Mhm.
I look at it like that too. You know what I mean? The spring equinox is, time for doing one thing. And you got four of them, and that's how a lot of the ancients used to, know when to plant food and all that other shit. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? And that's what a
Yep.
lot of these holidays are based around too. So yeah, I get it. I get it. It holds you right. It does hold more weight, and I see why you say that. But yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get you off
No.
topic or anything. It
No,
was
it's
just a
good.
question because I was thinking about it because you were talking about the energies of all of these, certain archetypes in what they like to do and what they don't do, and then. I was thinking to myself, well, shit, I've never heard her, break down or explain, you know what I mean, what the energy caught in that fucking 13th
Mhm.
constellation.
Mhm. Yeah, I think for me 12 has always worked. Every book I've read about it, every person I've listened to talk about it, they all work from that 12
Yeah, I
perspective.
can see why though.
And if something isn't broken, I'm not a big person to go ahead and try to
I
change it.
Me neither.
I would follow the rules. So,
Yeah, if it
um
makes sense already, you know what I mean. You're
mhm.
right.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
that
I
was my.
can't I've never really had anyone try to tell me, their personal opinion on it. So I can't really say that there's a good case for it, but I personally just don't follow that. When you look at the equinoxes and the calendar and the way it's laid out, it's made that way for a reason. And for today being a 29-degree scorpionic day,
Right.
you know,
It would mess
I
it up.
yeah, it would change that. So
It would change everything. It would change when the equinoxes were,
mhm.
and it wouldn't make sense.
Mhm.
It wouldn't make sense according to
Well,
your
and
layout.
if you want to get really technical and you want to talk about, extremely wealthy people, that are using this to become more
Right.
wealthy. Why would you change something that's
Right.
already
Why
working?
wouldn't you just throw a little
Yes.
confusion in there?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I
So,
think. Yeah. Okay, I see. So that I wanted to ask an actual, somebody who, because I've seen it and I've seen the information and I've looked up about it. You know what I mean? And like you said, it seems like it's a way to kind of make it easier for people to understand because it does put every month at 30 days type shit. But I mean,
mhm.
maybe that's people's OCD about them that they just need that to be, you know what I mean, something to help them out. You know what I mean? But at the same time, you're right. It's new information when it comes to that. So at the same time, it's like why, I get you. That makes
Well, we have been. I don't know if you've heard of this name, but Chiron is a place in your chart. Have you ever heard of that?
yes. I did
Okay.
have my natal chart done a couple times, so I know what you're
Okay.
talking about.
Okay, so Chiron is an asteroid belt, and it talks about healing and wounds and different things that make up how you are going to best take care of yourself or your body while you're in body. And that wasn't discovered until like 1973 or 1974. But we knew of Chiron before the asteroid belt was actually physically discovered, and we talked about it, and it has its own mythology, even though so we knew about it before we
Right.
actually knew about it,
Right.
if that makes any
Yeah.
sense. We talked about it, but we didn't have confirmation of it in the skies until 1973. But people who have been doing these ancient, information, they've known about it for a long
Yeah.
time. So
It's always
it's
been
just,
in their astrology books. Right.
mm-hmm. Yes.
Absolutely. It's kind of like uh how the ancients knew where the planets and the stars were
Mm-hmm.
before NASA fucking told us where they were. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I got you.
Exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, and that's an argument that you'll get from people is how can you talk about something that wasn't even found until 1973? And the good answer to that is, well, a lot of people were doing it and a lot of people were right about it. So why are you going to challenge something that we
Right.
basically knew and now we have confirmation that it's,
Yeah. If you just go
accurate.
back to find out
So,
where NASA got their information, shit.
mhm.
You
Mhm.
know, like how did they find out? You know what I mean? It wasn't
Exactly.
just by putting fucking satellites and shit in space.
Right. Right. Exactly. Um so and knowing what sign your boss is can be hugely beneficial for people who are wanting to have a good work environment, especially the
Right.
more unsettled, or let's say um, not mature the boss
Hmm.
person is. The
Right.
more you know, the better your life can actually be. And I've had some terrible bosses in my time. So
Yeah.
it behooved me to figure out right away who is this person that's in charge of me and what are they going to be asking me to do, and I do mean asking me to do both good and bad. So
Right.
it's a way for me to protect myself. I know that sounds stupid because I'm talking about
No,
protection, but I always viewed it that way. So
for sure. You got to pay attention to who you allow to have that authority
mm-hmm,
over you,
mm-hmm. And how
because
much
you
authority you really give them. So
right. Or yeah.
because you
I
can
like the
give
way you put
them
that.
you
Yeah.
can give them the way of thinking that they have the authority over you without fully giving them autonomy and authority over you.
Oh yeah,
So
it's like for these 8 hours or however long I'm here, you know what I mean. Like you're gonna get my utmost respect
hmm
as long as I'm getting yours back because a person like me, I'll walk out on your ass. You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
so, yeah.
And after I had my Saturn return, I started to understand that and this also is going to sound a little jaded, but I also understood that people were a lot more suspect and needed to have eyes put on them than they
Mm,
were not like that.
mm,
And I never wanted to be caught in the middle of some kind of a problem or questioning
right,
situation, or why were you doing that with this person. So
right,
for me and myself, to keep myself clean and out of trouble, because I worked in finances, which is something that people are always going behind you and they're looking at. They're looking at the trail of money. Where did it go? Who had it? Where did it come from?
Mm-hmm.
Who touched it? And there's always eyes on it all the way throughout, whether it's from when you take it in from the person, when it goes through 17 people's accounts, or the auditor who's looking at that all the way through. So I began to understand on a very wide scale that there was never not someone looking at it. And in order for me to do what I needed to do, I started to know I need to know who these people are, what are they doing, what is their intention, and how safe am I, in trusting their words. So
Right.
for me, it was always that way. And I think to bring it back to money, I think if people don't understand the connection between money and astrology, then they've really done themselves a disservice,
Oh yeah.
because everybody who is, let's say anybody, probably has an astrologer guiding them. I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking like JP Morgan Chase, I'm
Oh
talking
yeah.
like Beyonce, and different people like this. They all have astrologers going
Well,
behind them and looking at charts and telling them what to do and when to do it.
mm-hmm.
So,
Rothschild said it best. But
mhm.
wasn't it his daddy, or I think his daddy or whatever said it, his grandpa or some shit?
No, it was
Uh,
it was JP Morgan.
it was J.P. Morgan. Okay, yeah, they said
Yes.
millionaires don't use astrology, billionaires do.
Right. So if somebody's worried about $1,000, they're worrying about way more than that, like way, way, way
Mm-hmm.
more. And I just I can't disconnect those two things, money and astrology.
Nope.
It's not even a thing. So why would
Right.
I try? Um, and the better you know, the more you know, the better it can actually be for you.
Right.
So and when you start to look at those on a grander scale, things
Mm-hmm.
come into play like conscience and different things like that. And then if you're looking
Right.
at cards and you want to intermingle the two, all the cards, all the court cards of the deck, they are affiliated with a sign in each sun sign. So, for
Right.
example, the Fool is the Aries card, and it's on a journey. You're going to learn something. You have a path to take. You are a young person, and you're going to spend all of your life journeying through, because you're an Aries person. It's the
Right.
first sign of the zodiac. So,
Right.
you can see how that works. Another good one is Temperance. Temperance is, you know, the Sagittarius sign, and it's
Mm-hmm.
about patience. That's really the meaning of it, which is funny because Sagittarius people seem to have the worst patience levels that I've ever seen. They cannot sit still, they cannot
That's their
calm
journey.
down. That's their journey to learn. And the one I'm going to kind of focus on today is Capricorn energy.
Ooh,
Um,
that's my mom.
is it?
Yeah, my mom's a
Oh,
Capricorn.
interesting. Okay, that's good. For
Yeah.
Capricorn women are successful in business.
Oh yeah, she's too successful. Put it like that, to the point where every job she applies for, they tell her that she's too overqualified.
Exactly, exactly. Yes. And the thing is your smarts are worn on the front of you. People can look at you before you ever
Mm-hmm.
talk and know that you are smart and you know what you're talking about, and that you um, will get the job done. And sometimes that's not what they're looking for. And so they might not take her or not accept her because she knows more than they do, or
Yep.
she might be able to drive the bus better than they're driving the bus.
Yep.
And last year, when I was obsessed with this person that we talked about in the beginning of the show, I
Mm-hmm.
kept seeing the card for Capricorn. And it was
Mm.
kind of confusing to me because he's not a Capricorn.
I was about to ask that. Yeah, I don't think he's a Capricorn, right?
He's
Yeah.
not a Capricorn. He is actually a Scorpio.
Okay.
And I'm talking about Puff Daddy, or whoever you want to call
Mr.
him.
Take that shiny suit man, all the other fucking names
Yeah,
he got.
he has about 1,000,000 names, and I'm not
I
going to
know.
go into all of them. But
Yeah, he
and
does.
I kept being confused because I'm like, why am I seeing this card? Why am I seeing this? And
Right.
I briefly one day looked at his chart and I'm like, no, he's a Scorpio. He has, a Virgo moon, and he has
Right.
quite a few planets in Libra and Scorpio, and it just didn't it didn't jive with me. So I would kind of like be confused, and I
Mm-hmm.
didn't spend a long time. I would just be like glancing at it, going, "Well, that doesn't make any sense." So I'm
Right.
clearly not picking up the message that they're giving me.
Right.
And one day, I had a bad boss, and she was a Capricorn, and I was like, maybe I'm getting this confused with my boss. Maybe I'm getting it confused with him. I didn't
Yeah.
understand this. And so I said, no, tonight when I go home, I'm really going to look at his chart. I'm really going to sit down and sift through it. And I found what I was looking for. So his Mars is in 29 degrees of Capricorn. So it's at the
No.
very last degree of Capricorn.
So
So
that's why it was only like a little
that's
glimpse.
why it was coming up for me, and that's what I was seeing. And when I look at him, that's what I see in him.
Mm.
And you know
Mm-hmm.
what? That is what he wants you to see in him.
Yeah, maybe
That
that's the
is,
energy he. Yeah.
mm-hmm, that's what he puts off.
Right.
He wants you to see, I'm large, I'm in charge. I know what's
Yes.
going on. I'm going to tell people what to do. They're not going to tell me what to do. I'm going to run all these people. And I want to say specifically that from a young age, back in the day, before all this stuff was how it is now, he always carried himself that way. Part in
Yeah.
part because he was unsure of himself, and
Right.
part of that was because of he was short in nature, and shorter men tend to feel insecure.
Yeah.
So he put that energy out there, and he embodied that last degree of Mars in
Right.
Scorpio. So, and that is really why he is where he is now today, and he is the master of secrets, and he wants everyone else to keep secrets. So, um, everything he does is not what you think it is. It is not what it seems to be, and it is not what, if you think you know something, I can guarantee you're about 5 levels short of the information. So
Right.
you got about half, or maybe even less. So people hand selected him for the way that he carried himself.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that, like, I hope that makes sense to people, because he and what he would do was, when people weren't sure, with his mouth and with what he thought he could do, he would secure the bag by saying, yes, I will do whatever it takes. Yes, I will do whatever you ask me to, no matter
Yep.
what it is. I will do it.
Right.
So between the two, he fulfilled, all of the needs of what they were looking for him.
For sure. For sure. It seems to come. It's come to a point where whatever energy he was supplying is come to a, a crazy, you should want to say, halt, or maybe a wall, or a block, because normally, when you know what I mean, when you're talking about, Diddy, and controversies with his exes, or artists that he signed, he normally ends up coming out of it unscathed. He might have to pay a little money or some shit like that, but
Oh, he's paid a lot of money. A lot of
yes,
money.
oh, a lot. But it seems like he always just, there's nothing criminal or anything brought up about it, which is wild to me.
Well, every action pretty much has a reaction, in my opinion. Now,
Right.
some of those actions are physical in nature, and when
Mm-hmm.
you do something, you push something off a shelf, it falls to the ground and breaks in front of you. Some of it is
Right.
an energetic reaction where you hurt someone, or worse, take them out. Those things, everything has an energy and a reaction to it. And I don't want to use the word karma, because I think people use that word in a bigger sense, and it leaves a
Yeah.
lot to be desired. I mean, there is certainly karma, and he is certainly riding on the tail coat of his own karma right now. But
Right.
I want to make sure that people understand that that's not all it is.
Right.
He has gone around everywhere that he's gone, and he has told people who he is, what he's about, what he's going to do, how he's going to threaten you, how he's going to carry
Oh yeah.
himself. And he's used specific examples of people in his
Yep.
life and in his career and within every different aspect of his life to show people that my money is where my mouth is. And here's
Hmm.
how I'm going to prove it to you. So for he has been allowed to get away with
A
murder,
lot. Yeah.
and it's just that
Yep.
simple.
Yeah.
So
That's simple.
I don't know, he's he seems to be well loved or well admired, and he seems to have a positive reaction, but we if that's how you feel, you
Hmm.
definitely don't know how to read energy, and you're
Yeah.
definitely probably not paying attention
Well,
because I don't. Go
to
ahead.
tell you just on well the artist side of things,
Mhm.
he's just like from an artist from my standpoint and from all the artists that I've seen in interviews, um, the artists know to stay
Mhm.
away from Puff Daddy
Mhm.
and P Diddy. You know what I mean? Like that's not the guy you want in your circle. You know what I mean? For some reason. And then listening to 50 Cent when 50 Cent was talking about him, uh, and was telling us about his personal experiences with Puff Daddy and how what I mean. It was just different. It was weird. The dude was really weird. You know what I mean? He was on some other shit. You know what I mean? Like who asked another grown man to take him shopping? You know what I mean? Especially who asked a grown man who's 50 Cent, hey, let me take you shopping. What?
Mhm. Mhm.
Like, and then you hear other stories about,
Mhm.
ex assistants who walked in on people giving him fellatio in his office, and it'd be a man. And
Well,
he's like,
I can guarantee you, if you walked in on that, you had a good day instead of a bad day because it could have been a
yeah.
lot worse.
Oh,
Okay, there
yeah,
could have
because
been. Mhm.
she said she asked him. She said, I asked him why. I'm like, Didi, you can have any woman you want coming in here and sucking your dick under the table,
He's
right?
not interested in that. That's
No,
not his
that's
interest.
exactly what he said. He said it's the power.
Mhm. That has
It's the
nothing to do with that.
Yep, and that's
None
what she said.
whatsoever.
You know what I mean? Obviously, she was made out to be a fucking conspiracy theorist, crazy bitch. You know what I mean?
Are you
But
talking about Jaguar?
I think yes, Jaguar's one of them. But there was also an assistant. Wasn't she an artist? She was signed to him, wasn't she? Jaguar,
Mhm.
or
Yes.
was she just an assistant? I thought
I
she
think
might have
she
been
was just
signed.
an assistant. I don't know.
Okay, okay. If she was, then I think it was Jaguar because she was well known around New York as a female MC. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
and and like the
So,
Wu Tang. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, no, nothing, but none of anything that was done sexually for him was
Hmm.
10% preference and 90% control.
Yep.
Okay. So you can pretty much just if you saw it or you were allowed to see it, it was for a reason. It
Yep.
was to put fear in you or to
Oh yeah.
show you I'm in charge here. Not
Oh
to
yeah.
if he didn't want you to know, you were not going to know.
Yeah. She told him like flat out. He didn't tell him to stop or nothing.
Nope.
And he's
Nope.
like, that dude signing the label right now. And I was like, shit. But she wouldn't tell us who his name was. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But she,
No.
you know what I mean? But I was just like, God damn. And then you hear a lot of stories how supposedly he held Wale over a balcony
Mhm. I
for
did hear that
for
story.
uh
And
for
to be
getting too
honest,
close to Cassie.
the people who said that, they are not gaining any specific things,
Mm-mm.
publicity, money, anything for saying that. In fact,
Mm-mm.
they're probably putting their name out there when they probably don't want to or shouldn't need
Mm-hmm.
to say that story. Um, it's probably their best interest to just say, never mind, and
Right.
keep it moving. But
You're right.
if
It's got
they're
to be a lot of soft people because ain't no way that you do some shit like that to me and I'm not even trying to get your ass back. You know what I mean? Like
hmm
hell no,
hmm
you ain't about to hold me over a balcony because I got too close to Cassie when we were working in the studio together on a fucking song. Like,
well,
are you
and
fucking kidding me?
that's just it. So, and I'm gonna take just a quick pause
Okay.
on him for a minute, and I
Okay.
want to just talk about music
Okay.
for just a second.
Okay.
Not everybody can make music, and if you can, kudos to you. Fist
Right.
pump, whatever. I think that's amazing, and I think it allows you a place and a perspective to heal yourself through making music or making art. And if everybody could do that, this world would be a much better and safer place. But that's not the case, and not everybody can do that. But what everybody can do is listen to music, and through the art of listening to music, it acts as a similar thing as a healing agent.
Mm,
Some music much more than others. There's
right.
music that you listen to and it can definitely breed anger. It can, make you feel unsettled. It can make you unable to sleep, different things like that. And then there's music that is very soothing, and you might listen to it when you're getting a massage or something like that. So, music can do a lot of things, and I
Yeah.
don't want to underestimate it. Um, there are two main things that are basically at this point running the money side of the world.
Right.
And one of them is music
Mm-hmm.
production, music contracts, music
Mm-hmm.
companies, record
Yep.
companies. And the other one, unfortunately, is the sale profit of humans and the
Ooh,
many different things that humans can
right.
be used for. And by music makers being musicians making music, it is a subset of a human. So I just want people to understand that the magnificence of that, like how
Right.
big that is, because it's you cannot put a value on music. You can
Right.
try, but you really
Right.
can't do it. And you can't put a, a, a number on it. You can't say it's worth this much money because you don't know what people are going to do with it, how it's going to be received by people, and how long the songs are going to become iconic for. I
Right.
mean, sometimes you have one song and it's a hit song for 3 months, and then you never hear of it again. You have no idea what that song is going to turn into.
Right.
So
You're absolutely right.
people just can't quantify in their minds the what music is made for and what
Mm-hmm.
music is charged for, like what you can
Yeah.
charge for music.
Yeah.
So I mean, you might know more than others,
No,
but
it's subjective.
yeah.
Just like any art piece, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of subjective, you know what I mean? Like um, some would say, based on the quality of the song and whatnot, but a lot of times it's more based on the popularity of the person singing the song.
Mhm.
You know what I
Right.
mean? So it's
And
basically like, I could, right. And
how
I
much
could
they
paint
get
the
put out
same
there.
picture, right. I could paint the
Mhm.
same picture as Picasso and maybe even do it better. But it's me. It's Jason. It's
Mhm.
who the fuck is this guy? You know what I mean? And then but if Chris Brown put his name on it, then I was a different fucking story.
Mhm. And you
Yeah.
have to you have to look at the collective of people who are
Mm-hmm.
viewing the music or viewing the painting.
Yes.
And right now, I don't know if people know this or they understand it, but we are in a renaissance period. We
Oh
are
yeah.
in a clouded environment where more than more dark prevails than light, sadly. And there's less opportunities than people think that there is. We have less things available to us, even though we have a lot. It's
Mm-hmm.
not what we have the curtain mostly closed and we can't get behind it right now. So
Yes.
whatever people are working on and whatever people are investing their time and spirituality and money in is going to really have a booming effect later. And I
Yes.
mean in a type of a history when you're looking back at it. We
Oh
will
yeah.
be producing things and working through things that people can't quantify or understand right now.
Oh
So
yeah.
I don't think when I say that, people kind of look at me like, what? So if you go back and you look at Renaissance artists through
Right.
art history, you're going to see that those paintings and those works of art, they have never lost their power. They have
Value.
never
Wow.
lost what they are worth. In fact,
Right.
they've gained more. So,
Yes.
um,
I agree. Completely agree on that.
that's where we are. I can't change it. There's nothing, it is what it is. So you
Mm-hmm.
you either jump on the bus with it and you go, or you stay behind and you're going to be left wondering what is really
Yep,
going
because
on here.
this is another renaissance
Mhm.
period when it comes to art for sure.
Mhm. And
I agree.
not a lot of people have studied art history. So if you really want to learn about that, yeah, go back and read about that. Go back and art is one of those degrees that it's really hard to use once you've gotten an art degree
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
figure out what you're going to use it for. Um, because
Yeah.
it's like, okay, now you know all that stuff, but what are you going to do with it?
What are you gonna
Kind
do
of
with
thing.
it? You know, and
Yeah.
I know cats who graduated with audio production degrees, and most thing they can do with is basically independent work. You know what I mean? Until I mean, you could sign with a label and shit like that, but obviously it's not going to be as lucrative because they're going to be able to own some of the rights to your beats and to
Yeah.
your production and
And
stuff. So
who you come in contact with is really
yep.
more important than what you know at this point,
Hmm.
and how you can market yourself. So you could
Yeah.
be an excellent producer, you could be an excellent mixer or whatever, but if you
Hmm.
don't come in contact with the right people, none of that matters.
You're right, absolutely right. And you end up being, like a guy who has a top 10 song out right now, but you don't even collect royalties on it
And no one
because,
knows who you are.
because you were signed by Dr. Dre, and Dr.
Hmm.
Dre's contract says that you don't get any rights to shit, but you just get paid this much per beat that they use. You know what I mean? So it's
Exactly.
like then you get fucked right there. You know what I mean? So nobody even knows who you are, and you got this top 10 hit out. Oh yeah, that Diddy was good at that. And on the music side, just to let you know, just a couple months ago, he decided to give all the publishing rights back to the Bad Boy artists.
And there's a
That
reason for that.
I know, right? Isn't it funny that he did that? And it's like he's been in this fucking what you want to call, I don't know, whirlwind of bullshit happening around him. You know what I mean? Because
Hmm.
like just a couple months ago, he's been allocated that he was involved in Tupac's death, which would automatically have put him involved with Biggie's death, and
Well,
then you
here's the thing. At this point, I would say it is a waste of anyone's time to start making a list and saying, "Oh, it's this person, it's this person, it's this person." I would say it's easier for you to make the list of people he's not associated with their death of. And I would say that's probably a better way to go about your day.
Gee, so it's more than that. Damn.
It's way more than that.
Yeah, I
It's
didn't,
way more than
I
that.
didn't, I didn't know that he had his, hand that deep in this game like that when
So
it came.
so I want to go back and just say, he was
Okay,
hand selected to be who he is.
right,
He was made for himself. He was made promises. He was given contracts. He was told, "We will make you what you want to be. You just
right,
have to know what that is." And
right,
however big that dream is or however much you can describe it, that's what we will fulfill for you. What he
right.
didn't do was ask the questions of, what will this cost me? Who
What
will
were
I
the
be tied
sacrifices?
to? What are the sacrifices? What is going to be lacking from me? And he didn't ask those questions. He was able to dream the impossible dream and tell the people what it was, and they were able to say, "Done, done, and done, and we'll do all of that for you." But they didn't tell him what were the drawbacks. What was he going to have to part with? What could he never have? Those different kinds of things.
Right.
And I don't like it when people say that Cassie was his girlfriend. I think that is the most poor usage
The
of
word,
of
yeah,
that situation
yeah,
I can possibly come up with, because first and foremost, his preference is not women, and
right,
that is not a dig. I personally do not care what people like or don't like. That's on them. I don't need to hear about it all. That is not my business. That's your business. And what I don't understand is why, when people have a different preference, why they need to make that everyone else's business. That it doesn't make sense to me. I don't get it. I understand you can like whoever you like. I mean,
right,
it doesn't matter. But not everyone needs to be aware of all that information.
correct,
So his preference was not women. If he was telling you that it was, that was a front for something else. And I really just wish that people fully understood how it is to own, per se, and m- manufacture and market a person. It
yeah,
is not for the faint of heart.
right,
And Cassie was a marketed person for P Diddy.
Mm,
She was
I
not his
can agree
girlfriend.
with that.
She was not. She might have been in terms of taking pictures or going to events or
Right.
showing a certain side of himself that he wanted to show. And she's beautiful. So, who wouldn't want to walk down a red carpet with her there with them? I mean,
Right.
she's an attractive person. I'm not attracted to her, but I can see that she's beautiful.
Right.
So, um, she was drugged.
Mm-hmm.
She has a lot of memory lapse, that she can't remember what happened, where
Mm-hmm.
she was, who did what to her. And I think, that's why he had such control over her, was because she did not like that. She did not
Right.
want it, and she was trying to get out of it. And any
Right.
time that she was away from him was more time for her to be advertising those points that I need help.
Yes.
I can't do what I need to do. He's drugging me. Um, and I think there's upper echelon people that people know their names or they've been said or their household names, and they have no idea that they are connected to this process, this game, whatever you want to call this industry.
Right.
They
Yeah, it's
don't have
wild.
any idea. They don't have any clue.
No,
And I'm
yeah.
not and I'm not here to name those names because that's not
Mm-mm.
necessarily
No, but
my.
there's many people who've been subject to this type of shit. We see Britney Spears. We see how far
We
that's
do.
went. We
Yep.
see, there's been a lot of situations where it's like, what the fuck? You've heard some of these Disney's kids. You've
Mhm.
heard fucking Justin Bieber talk about some shit.
Yeah.
You've heard, Justin Timberlake talk about some shit. You know
Yep.
what I mean? All of these fucking kid stars, and then because you guys forget, when Cassie came out with her first song, she was like fucking 18. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? Like he had a grip on her when she was young as
Very young.
fuck. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? So I don't think a lot of people remember that. You know what I mean? I think she was around 18, 19. Her first song came out, um,
But
and I'm like,
nobody
damn,
nobody walks up on their 18th birthday and says, "I'm a musician and here's my first song." No, 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 no,
right?
no.
Yeah,
They've been in the fields working
yes.
day and night to
Mm-hmm.
expose themselves to the people, lay down tracks, sing, formulate new relationships, work with this person, hear this track, go to this studio, be taken to
Mm-hmm.
these parties. There is no way she just went on her birthday and
No
said,
way.
"I'm Cassie and I have this
Nope.
song." No, no,
Nope,
no, no, no.
not at all. I
So,
mean,
so
obviously, he probably ran into her. He probably ran into her
mhm,
anywhere other than just, you know what I mean. Like a lot of shit happens. Like obviously, she didn't just walk up to Bad Boy Records like, let me get a
no,
fucking meeting with
no,
Diddy, and then they were like, sure,
no,
just because you're a pretty girl. I don't
no.
think that because anybody couldn't fucking do that. And like you
And
said,
I
she
don't.
could have been chosen in a way, but for him to settle so fast goes to show how guilty he
It's
really is.
and you know what? It was a mutual agreement. She did not want her stuff dragged through court any more than he
For
wanted his
sure,
stuff dragged through court because it's
for
not
sure.
pretty, and
No,
it will change the way people think about this stuff forever. It
forever.
will make the Ike and Tina story look like a
Oh my
kindergarten
goodness.
book.
I think it was to me it was more like a forced like it was
Hmm.
this was not gonna go to trial for the sake of the whole music
Mm-mm.
industry.
No,
You know what
absolutely
I
not.
mean? So it's like even if there was people in the music industry that was like, yo, Diddy, we'll even fucking throw in with you. We don't care if this bitch need 100 million. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Just
No, they
just
did.
shut her the fuck
They
up.
did. What
You
and
know what I
whatever
mean?
he tells, whatever his net worth is, it's not accurate.
No.
It's part of that money he does not have access to. Part of it he has loans against to
Right.
live off of. So
Right.
everything that you think you know is not necessarily what people actually know about this.
Facts.
And um, if you really pay attention and you really can read between the lines and you really, listen to what people are saying from now until April, he is going to be in the hot seat. He is going to have his name everywhere, dragged through every piece of mud in every household. Parents are going to be like, my whole childhood I spent listening to this music and I can't
Yeah.
believe blah, blah, blah. And it's like, so
Right.
sorry. Then you don't really understand the music industry, people.
Hmm. And a
And
lot of
kids
people
are,
just gonna play it like, oh well, she was just a floozy
mm,
or whatever.
no,
That's just, you know what I
no.
mean. You know how some people are gonna try to play
Well,
that,
they can
especially.
do that. They can do that all they want, but what my
Oh yeah,
people
I know.
what my people showed me is that door and that's in the front of a big building or a hotel, and it's you climb in it and then it goes around and it leads you to the other side. I don't, is it a revolving door? Is that what we're calling that?
Right, right.
Okay,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
three more people in the revolving door. They're waiting
Wow.
to come with their claims and their papers to show up to say what they needed to say. And probably this is how I'm gonna like wrap it down for today.
Okay.
Is that Cassie, as much of a bad situation as she was in, and as much as she was taken advantage of and used and abused, for lack of a better word, she also has a person who is guiding her and mentoring her that has gifts and abilities. And
Right,
that this has been in the works for a couple of years, and they've been sitting and waiting for the right time. And again,
right.
we're in that right time, the harvest season, if you will, shooting
Hmm.
season, if you will,
Yep,
warring season, if you will. And her
yep.
person gave her the green light to go ahead and go forward and move this, out into the
I think
incoming
I know who
traffic.
one of those people is in that revolving door you were speaking about.
Well, there's three people.
I think I
So,
know who one of them is.
okay,
Could I
you
guess? You can just tell me yes or no.
I don't even know all of them. I
You
only
don't
know
know? You
one
don't
of
know
them.
all of them?
I
Okay,
can only
I would.
see them.
Okay, Bentley Farnsworth, is that one of them?
I
You
don't
remember
even
that
know who
guy?
that is.
You
One of
remember
them.
the guy who used to wear all of those nice suits and like have the umbrella, and he used to dance next to Diddy and shit. He had the umbrella. He looked like Diddy. He was always with Diddy
Mm-mm,
for a long time. Then all of
no.
a sudden he didn't. He disappeared. You gotta look
He
at it.
he might have information to help
Right.
these people, but he is not a person that I am seeing.
Okay. Okay. Bentley Farnsworth. Boy, I hope Diddy ain't getting my boy. I'm just saying. But damn, man, that's so crazy.
There's another female,
Okay.
and she's probably of his same ethnicity. I
Okay.
see a white male, and I'm seeing a a, a black male. So those
Okay.
are the people that I'm seeing that look
Okay.
like they're riding the line in the roller coaster to
Okay. To
get
get
on the
to yeah.
next seat. Obviously,
Wow.
that can change. Things can happen, but there is, we have our tickets. We're at the amusement park. We're just kind of walking around and seeing what we can see, and um, that's what I'm seeing.
Wow.
Now and this period runs straight through the end of April of next year. So he,
Mm.
he has people that are babysitting him now.
I'm listening. I'm sorry.
They're watching. No, you're fine. They're watching him. They're they're not leaving his side. They're not leaving him alone. They're not letting him make more bad decisions. So um, he's on a short leash right now, for
Oh
sure.
yeah, I can see that, and then that hints why he's probably started, doing the right thing by artists by giving back all of the rights
Hmm.
to their music a couple months ago. Because this ain't new, guys. It's been going on
No,
for a
no,
little bit. It's just
no.
now a lot of the information is coming out for us to talk about. And while everybody's still talking about Israel and all of this shit that we already fucking covered, we wanted to give y'all an insight on this music industry and what's actually happened to these people. Now, Megawatt has laid a baseline for us, not necessarily about Diddy in general, but about the energy surrounding on why it's all coming about right now. And so
Mhm.
we have this baseline of, what the hell's going on
Mhm.
with Mr. Sean Combs, and we come to find out that it's way fucking deeper
Way
than what the
deeper.
fuck than what the fuck we think it is. So we're gonna have to pick this up next episode. We've been
Mhm.
about an hour today. I know
Yeah.
Nova's busy, so he ended up having to get busy. I don't think he's gonna be able to rejoin us, but we could
My
just
bad, my bad.
oh
I'm back.
there we go. Shit. We can got through the whole day.
We got through a big
Take that.
portion of it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, big portion of it, yeah.
I had to pay that person, and man, talk about talking. Wow.
Wow.
I tried to run away about 5 times,
All right.
and they just like kept following me all the way to the door. So I was like, all right, I'll just stay out
So
here. And
So something I want to challenge people who, are interested in this topic and they want to learn more about it is, take a song that you really love. It can be one of these type of songs of his era, if you will, or it can be a new
Hmm.
song, and write down, just pull up the lyrics of the song and actually take a pen and a paper and write them down, because what that does is it ties your hand, the doing the writing, to your brain, and it connects them, and it
Mm.
starts to make a connection that's different than reading a lyric on a screen or on a piece of paper. And when you do that, when you get done, go back and look at the lyric, and just read what the words are, because you're going to read them differently than if you were to just pull them up online and read them to yourself aloud. It will hit different, is what I'm trying to say. So I was in a business the other day, and they had their overhead music on, and there was nobody in there. It was very quiet, and I was just looking around doing some stuff, and I was listening to the lyrics, and there was a very strange lyric that was said of a song, and my eyes just went really wide, and I was like looking around, and I thought maybe like somebody was punking me or playing a trick on me, and I looked over at the other person that was in the store with me, and she's like, "Did they just say that?" And I'm like, "I think they did." And I need to go back and find the song and find the lyric and make sure that what I actually heard audibly was what they were saying. I'm 99% sure it was, but they're saying
what was it?
it was about organ harvesting.
Hmm.
Oh
And I
shit.
need to go back and find this song, because I'm like, what are they playing in these stores for people to
Right.
listen to? Who is listening to this shit?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I rather
Fuck. I
hear
don't know.
that I went to the club and blop 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 and this and that and the other. At least I know,
Right.
exactly what I'm
Like,
signing up to
Right.
listen to.
Right.
This is a
right.
whole
Yeah.
another mess over here, like.
This is some
So, and
whole, yeah, yeah,
this
some
is a,
whole
yeah,
oh,
exactly.
ritualistic type of shit. It gives
And
you
I
that.
was
It
like,
gives you that.
it's like it takes me about an hour, I'm not gonna lie, from the time that I get up out of bed until an hour later. My body, my mind, everything is still accumulating and waking up and regenerating, or whatever it is that it's happening. I'm still getting all that stuff worked out. It takes me time to wake up in the morning, and the first thing I hear, when I'm going into a building, is this song, and I'm like, what? Like, my mind can't
Thought
even
you were
process that.
dreaming still,
I didn't know what
huh?
was happening. Yeah.
Oh, that's wild, man.
Organ harvesting.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was a crazy, crazy thing. So,
I mean,
So
have you guys seen those, well, I don't think they're recent, but they've been recently showing up to me, like pictures of cats and pictures of like people, but in the middle of all of it, it's an illusion that says a word.
I
yeah, I've
haven't.
seen those.
You've seen those recently? It was like a picture
Mm-hmm.
of cat. It was this picture of cats, right? And it really, no, excuse me, it was a picture of humans, and they were all wearing black and white though, right? So they were all wearing black and white, and they're lined up to where if you squint your eyes, you can see how it says obey. And I guess the
Oh,
picture came out of a fucking magazine or some shit like that.
okay.
It was going across, I was going across my timeline and my feeds on both fucking Instagram and fucking Facebook, and I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? And to see, that's crazy. You know what I mean? You go into a store and you hear some subliminal type music, and it sounds like they
Yeah.
fucking saying
It was just
organ
this like
harvesting. Like,
beboppy, like poppy sounding song, and something that before.
Walmart has their own radio and shit now.
Yeah, before the sentence, it said something about your feelings or hurt your feelings or something like that. And then the next line was organ harvesting. And I'm like, what? Like, what are you saying?
Oh my god!
And
What in the world?
I knew it wasn't just me, because I could see the other person, and they were like, they didn't want to say anything. We're just staring at each other going, what?
Oh shit! That's the funniest part about that story right there. Like, I'm looking at another person and they're looking at me, and they don't
Yeah,
even want to believe it.
because it was so quiet. Like, there was no noise. There was no outside noise. It was just me and this person in a building with this song, and like I would have loved to have had the person go, "Oh yeah, that's not what she said," but
Right.
it is what they said. So,
Right, because they confirmed. They
hmm
confirmed that that's what they said because you looked at them, they
yeah,
looked at you, and then they were so afraid to say something that they were just like, "Yeah, I heard it," and they just kept walking. Like, and that's what our
Yeah.
society is, though, too. That's just nuts.
so you got to be aware of what you're listening to and what you're
Yeah.
hearing and consuming, and how much of that you're taking in.
Hey, I got a question. Y'all might have already talked about this, but so I was going to ask. So do you think that this is the only female or
No,
male
no,
that Diddy's did this whole
100% no.
situation to?
No, I already
You
talked
think he
about
did
it.
it to Jennifer Lopez?
That was a different kind of deal, but yes, in a way.
Yeah, she was.
Which
I
is
think she
odd.
was. She was more of a handler.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Well, she wanted to be a certain person with a certain career and a certain look and a certain feel
Right.
and have this
She
and
had to
have
date
that.
Diddy for that.
If you can call it that, I don't know that I necessarily
Yeah, I wouldn't.
would.
I feel you. I feel you.
But it was more of a contractual obligation. Like, I'm connected to you, you're connected to me. Now we've made our own energy signature. I'm going to market you this way. I'm going to do this for you. And you're going to do this for me. And we're never going to talk about it again. But just because you never talk about it again doesn't mean other people can't talk about it again. And your deals in the future can be subject to be
Well, the
changed based on your
comedians have.
past
You're
actions.
absolutely right. Because the comedians have already said shit. Like Jamie Foxx in one of his stand-ups, and this was in the stand-ups in the early 2000s, I think. It
Hmm.
was a while ago. He's like, I remember J-Lo. He's like, I
Hmm.
remember J-Lo in Living Color. Back then, she was just hey ho. That's what he
Hmm.
said. And it's a joke, but these are, comedians. These are comedians who keep it real.
Well, I'm
You know what I
talking
mean?
about the people that do. Okay, I don't know how to word this. Everybody has an assistant that picks up their lunch or
Yep.
goes and gets them Q-tips at the Walgreens, or they do all these stupid side ass jobs and they're around all the time. They're cleaning up after them, they're picking up used tissues because the person left them, somewhere or whatever. These people, like, they're that person that, like, man, they're like, what kind of
That's what I
job
was
do I not have to
that
do?
Bentley
Okay,
Farnsworth type of job.
that person, those people know things, and there's a lot of those people. And maybe it's not Bentley Farnsworth or whatever the hell his name is, but
Farnsworth Bentley.
maybe it's her
It's
assistant
Farnsworth Bentley.
or whatever. I don't know that person.
Give that
So,
man his respect. He's a good dancer.
See, I told you back a while. He was the guy that he was always with Diddy and fucking Mace and fucking goddamn, whoever. It was just whoever he was with Diddy. He was opening Diddy's Bentley door and
Yeah, he
fucking
was on all them damn
yeah,
shows too.
yeah.
it
All them
can
making
be.
the band shows and all them shits. He was all on there.
Yeah, but then he
Here's
disappeared.
And then all of a
Nobody
sudden,
knows
just
what
bam,
happened. Yeah.
gone.
here's how I would re-answer that question for you then. At this present moment, he does not seem that he is ready to do that yet. Obviously, that could
Right.
change, and he could make decisions based on, who steps out of that doorway next and what they say. And people can change their mind and they can do different things and whatever. But he's not one of the people that I'm currently seeing that is ready to put their shoes on and walk through the doorway,
Right.
kind of thing. So,
Poor Bentley.
but there's a lot of people who know a lot of shit, and when you start adding it together and compiling it in a manner, a timeline manner, you can be putting a lot of stuff together that wasn't previously
Right.
put together.
So what about Lil' Kim?
Oh yeah.
No, she's not. Not
She
right now.
says she can make a Sprite can disappear.
She probably can.
Oh
One way or
God.
the
in
other,
her
she
in her
probably can.
throat too. That's the fucked up part. Like what? Like God dang, in your throat.
No, I'm sure. We was talking about how in the music side he's given in September he decided to give all of the publishing rights back to the artist. But so we've known that he's fucked,
Yeah, he
you know,
decided to
Danny.
do that, huh?
Right. Exactly. That's what
Because
Megawatt
he's
said.
so
Like,
nice.
right. That's exactly what Megawatt said. Megawatt said he did that for a reason. I'm like, oh yeah, that's because he's been in a shitstorm since September. You know what I mean? So like, he even donated $2 million to the fucking to the what was it, fucking the HMA, the fucking
The Damage Control Society.
Yeah, basically.
Wow, man.
So yeah, it's getting really, really deep, and it'll be interesting to see who else will come to light with some shit that's surrounding Diddy and this shit. But like I was telling Megawatt, in the artist industry, in the artist community, like we were always told to stay the fuck away from Diddy, that he doesn't do good deals and he doesn't do good, you know, business, period. You know what I mean? It's something else that's always involved in it. You know what I mean? And people think that, you know, niggas was crazy about that shit, but like I would have never signed with Bad Boy ever
Bro,
in my fucking life.
the label that I was signed with, man, these motherfuckers literally brought P. Diddy's road manager into the situation that I was involved in, and his name was Doug Brown, bro. And I talked to this dude on the phone. He was talking about, oh, you got a good deep voice and this shit like that, motherfucking trying to be slick with it. And I was just like, I don't do that type of shit, man. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
And so, hey, and I'm dead ass serious. Not too long after that, they took another group and just literally put them in where I was, and all the features that I had from the people, they just ended up with them. So it was real crazy, man. But
yeah, you ain't play ball, so they had to.
And that was just a small little bunch of bullshit. Like, didn't even go anywhere with it. So I can imagine what really goes on. I mean,
yeah, like a hit song, right? Like if you got a hit, you know what I mean? I'm not saying that song wasn't a potential hit, but what they do is,
but if you're, you know, it just, you already know, man. If you got that vibe about you and talented as a motherfucker, and
it's
you
not
need
even,
a way,
it's not
you
even
need a way in. You know what I mean? And Diddy's been giving way-ins for a long time, bro. And hey, all the men that fuck with Diddy, they're all like, bitch, stay away from me with that shit.
Yep.
Yes. He knows.
I've heard so many people say, hey, man,
Me too.
when Diddy gets drunk, I don't even fuck with him. I get away from him because he starts with that funny shit. And, you know, we know what that means, funny shit. So,
well, Megawatt was explaining to us that
there's a radio station in New York City, and what they used to do was they would take rappers that were beefing, and they would call one another and get them on the line with each other, and they would have a motherfucking argument right there on the shit.
Right.
And so obviously Diddy was involved in a bunch of them.
That shit is hilarious, bro. Oh, I can't even remember now.
I think you said something.
Oh yeah, Megawatt was saying that she knows his sexual preference as in women, anyways. And I mean, and if you go into, yeah, I mean, like I said, he asked to take. That's something that you ask somebody, a female. You ask 50 Cent, hey man, let me take you shopping. 50 Cent's like, bro, what? I'm a grown ass man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'll beat you the fuck up. Like,
yeah, like, what do you mean by that?
Or like, shopping. That's something you ask a girl you wanna take out.
He said some crazy shit like that to Fabulous too. Fabulous was sitting there. It was like him and like 3 other people, and Diddy was drunk, bro. I mean, there, right? And he starts doing all this, just acting funny, just literally acting, you know, just not like a normal man, I guess you would say, right? And normal straight man, I guess I should say. And dude, like Fabulous was like, look, man, he said, it's a YouTube video. Everybody can go look it up. But Fabulous was like, look, man, I don't get down like that. He said, but get that bullshit away from me. And then Diddy started laughing. Oh no, man, it's cool, it's cool. And Fabulous was like, nah, man, get the fuck away from me. I ain't with that shit. And Diddy tried to play it off. Oh, you know how I get when I drink. He said, I don't give a fuck. Get the fuck away from me.
And then how he had Justin Bieber living with him at like 14. Like, what the fuck? That's a whole nother.
And like,
I
how
think
many
that's the
people have
white
had their
male.
hands on Justin Bieber in general,
Man,
bro?
they didn't pass that young man
I
around.
mean,
Poor
good
Justin
Lord,
Bieber.
man.
Well, he might be one of the people in that doorway.
Oh, I think he is. I think he pissed about a lot of shit. He been living a different life ever since he fucking ain't been doing music as much, but you know what I mean, and
You know
got
why
married
he
and
ain't doing
shit.
music, right?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. He can't do music.
Mm-mm.
They ain't gonna let him do no music. They own it. They still own that name.
Oh no, there's a reason he's not.
Oh, cause
It's
he
not
probably about to.
music related.
Oh yeah, he one of the ones in the doorway.
No, he's in the vaccine injury group now.
Oh yeah, that is right. He did get injured by the vaccine.
I really still haven't seen a true, real recent live video or photo of Justin Bieber since that happened to the side of his face.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I
He's not
seen
ready
one.
to put that out there.
I seen one he was showing, but it wasn't as bad as it seemed. But you could tell one side of his face wasn't moving when he was making facial expressions. So his eyebrows would raise, and you could see both eyebrows should be up right now when he's saying what he's saying, but only one would move, and only one side of his face would move. But that was recently after. It wasn't like recently from today. It was recently after he had that injury.
Yeah, I think I saw that video you're talking about.
Yeah,
but so, like I hadn't really seen. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I haven't seen anything since then.
That's crazy too, because it's Justin Bieber. I mean, shit, his face is everywhere, bro.
Yeah, I used to watch that little kid sing when I thought his dad was whooping his ass. I told everybody, like, I think his dad is whooping his ass and making him sing. He pulling a fucking Joe Jackson on him because that little boy looked like he didn't want to sing for these motherfuckers in the camera every goddamn day, but every day he was up on YouTube singing some shit. And motherfuckers sometimes he would just look so fucking sad. Like, he was like, I'm not even fucking trying to do this shit. But his fucking dad or whoever, his handlers, whoever the fuck it was making him do the shit. But he ended up blowing up. But them motherfuckers basically handed him over to to Diddy. And then
he had a basically a conservatorship over him at that time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because see, at first, for so many years, I thought Usher Raymond discovered
he did
Justin Bieber. But then
he did.
Like, yeah, okay,
like
so I guess I was right.
Diddy.
So when did
he did find him?
So when did Diddy come into the picture?
Right after.
They're synonymous with each other. There's not it's not a one and then a done. It's we're holding hands and we met this guy and he wants to do this and this. What do you think we can
Usher
make
probably
out of
owed him some money.
Well, no, it's more like what do you think we can make out of him? Look how young this kid is.
Right.
And the person for me that so when I tune into energies for people or of people, other people who are no longer here on this planet, they show up. They present themselves as an energy to me. And the first person that kept popping in for me was Eazy-E.
Oh, damn.
And, he's basically like, y'all ain't ready for this. Y'all ain't ready. Y'all ain't. That's like that's what he's like saying is like, people think they know what's going on. They don't have any idea. You know what I mean? Now, I don't know what their connections are. I don't know what they did or didn't do together, except for the fact that he had to perform, in order to get where he wanted to go as well. So
right.
I don't know if they made music together, if they were signed to the same labels.
No, they were actually competition. So that would be like Tupac's side, like West Coast versus, East Coast type of shit. But at the same time, though, you know what I mean? Suge Knight and all of them cats was around at the same time as well. So it's like his connection with Suge isn't really known. They talk like they're enemies, but you know how the music industry is. You know
Well,
what I mean? At the same
Suge
time,
is not also gonna come. He wants to have his day in the park as well, and while his park has a fence around it, and currently he can't go past that perimeter, he's still
hmm
gonna communicate what he knows, and he has a cell phone, and he still communicates with his people and runs a business from where he is. So he'll just get his 2 cents in when it's his time. So
right, because he knows some shit about Diddy, I'm sure too.
I know that dude sitting there in that cell, like laughing his ass off
I
right
don't know
now. He's
how.
like, "You
To me,
thought
it's
you was
like,
gonna get away with this shit, Diddy?"
but like I want to know because like there's a list of people like he supposedly dislocated so and so's arm. He slapped the fuck out of goddamn Drake. Uh, he's fucking. You know what I mean? Like just the shit that he's done that people say that he's done. It's
Shit, he
hard for.
took Vanilla Ice and hung him over a balcony and
Well,
stole
that
his
was Suge.
goddamn shit.
That was Suge Knight. I'm talking about Diddy.
Oh,
Yeah,
Diddy,
Diddy.
yeah,
Yeah, Diddy smacked the shit out of Drake.
yep.
All right, many people have like, yeah, I seen it, right? Now I've seen a couple people like,
Mhm.
yeah, I watched it. He smacked the shit out of Drake. He physically assaulted a couple other motherfuckers. And he supposedly hung Wale over a balcony for being too close to Cassie. My whole thing is like, who the fuck who, are these niggas just that bitch? Like they just let motherfuckers do whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? I don't give a fuck if it's Diddy. I don't care if I'm in the position that I'm in or whatever the fuck it might be. But ain't no way this motherfucker gonna smack the shit out of me or fucking try to hang me over a fucking balcony and I don't fucking beat this nigga ass next time I see him.
Yeah, they just know how to play ball,
well,
and they
wait
gotta
though,
play
wait,
ball because if
hold
not,
on.
then
What if he shows up with 6 very large individuals? Are you gonna say the same thing?
Shit, I got 5 bullets. So it's only gonna be 7 of them. I mean, for 2 of them motherfuckers
Well,
left.
he
But
hung Wale out the balcony at a recording studio, right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So
yeah.
hey,
what
just
else?
think about this too. The other day, I forgot the dude's name, but he was signed with Cash Money, and he wouldn't give a chain back or some shit. I don't know exactly what it was, but so Baby and like a bunch of his goon type people or
Oh, you
whatever
talking about that
ran up on dude in the studio
Drewski?
and yeah, snatched the chain off of him, beat his ass,
I
and
tell you
then
what it was. It was
and
Drewski made this song
yeah,
called he
that's
made this, and then
yeah.
the dudes but Baby and them they had a song made and it was basically they fucking ganked this nigga's whole song basically, you know what I mean? And then they went to the studio. He was in the same. They went and checked this nigga trying to say that he ganked their song, but they really ganked his song. Standing
Hmm.
on business. I'm standing on business. It
Yeah.
was a fucking song, some shit like that. And then, anyways, yeah. But you're right though. They snatched his chain, and them motherfuckers. They showed the video. The motherfuckers was like, run, run, run.
Yeah,
They
he
was running for their lives from fucking
took
Baby and
off.
them.
But
I
yeah,
don't
they
know if
fell down
I'll
some
run, man.
stairs
They
and
just
fell
yeah.
down some stairs, all kind of shit. There's always some crazy shit happening in stairwells and studios. Swear.
Oh yeah, and Drewski though he's like one of those. I think he has music out. I think he's an artist, but at the same time, he's like one of those dudes who does those funny ass content videos. He's a content creator more than anything. I see him doing a lot of content. I think he has songs out though, but at the same time, you know what I mean. Like I don't know if he was trying to prank. You know what I mean? Put a prank on them niggas by like, mimicking their song, or they really kind of ganked his song, or whatever the fuck it is. But either way, Baby and them showed up to fucking hash it out. And when he was backing up with his hands up, like I don't want no problems. And they
Yeah,
snatched that nigga chain, and he started running. What
yeah.
did he do?
Fell all down the
Poor
stairs.
Drewski.
Well,
Man, he ain't no violent type of dude. He'll tell you like that dude Drewski he like nah, I ain't about to
that's
fuck
the
with them.
thing though. Like, so this energy of this situation, I just want to kind of revert back as a whole,
Yeah,
is the similar thing of when the Me Too movement came out. Okay, everybody knew
hmm
about it. Everybody knew what everybody was doing. People had had run-ins with them. They'd been, subject to illegal and bad behavior, but nobody
right,
was talking about it until
right.
one thing was said, and it just launched this whole
Yep.
thing This is the same. We're doing the same thing over again.
Yep.
So
And it's not, to me, it's not funny. It's not a coincidence that his wife passed away.
well, she's what's helping from the other side.
Yeah, that's crazy. Cause you know what I mean? Like she filed for divorce and she got what she got, but then she dies in a car accident. I don't think that fucking shit is, she want to say coincidence, man. Like normally if that shit was like, you know, on the other foot for some reason, like if it was the woman, they would be investigating her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They would think she was trying to
Mhm.
get away with something. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how many women get caught? Or that's what a lot of women doing heli time for, is for fucking, you know, trying to collect on their husband's life insurance, shit like that.
Yep.
I knew that was fishy. I was like, hell no, because how fast it happened.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, oh, she won the case. Okay, now she's dead. What?
Yo,
Didn't she just win the case? Like I was confused when I seen the news articles. I'm like, damn.
Right.
And
yeah,
then you're
man.
right. The list,
'Cause
like you said, the list goes on.
Because these people that are behind here, those are not people that are going to get caught with their pants down. They're going to let other people like him get caught
Yep.
with his pants down. And there have been rituals done and
Because he can't
ritualistic
keep his fucking
dinners
pants up.
had, and they have
Mhm.
discussed all of these matters, and they have been told how they're going to be handled, who's going to be handling them. And I can guarantee you are not going to be hearing from Mr. Sean Combs in the near future. He is going to be quiet as a church mouse.
Oh, I believe it. He's already started. You know, like I said, in September, he just decided to give a whole bunch of money and give a whole bunch of shit back to artists that he owed, that he should have been gave back years ago. And then now, you're right, it's been complete silence from that side of the world. They made a statement about what Cassie, oh, we wish her all the best. You know, but that's about it.
I haven't even heard anything about him in a good while, except for this this thing that came out. So that just kind of lets me know that like his time's up. He's done. He's not making the
No,
he's not making the
Yeah.
money. He's
he
not
was
getting into
used
positions
for what he wanted to
just
be used for, and his
right.
contract is up. And slowly but surely, over the next 4 years, he'll be phased off of this completely.
Now he'll reemerge and they'll give him some shit like a hip hop award for you know I don't know, some bullshit ass hip hop award to remember Diddy by. But like you said, other than that, he's pretty much done. I mean, they'll do some stupid shit for him, like Hip Hop
He's
Hall of
got
Fame
3
or
other
some
people that he's got to pay out, and after those 3 payouts, he ain't gonna have much left.
shit. Oh yeah, I already know.
And it's crazy that y'all probably talked about this too, but this person Cassie waited this long, and then it takes like 18 hours or whatever
Yes.
for a
You
settlement
tell
to
him,
happen.
Jason. I'm not gonna tell him.
Yeah. Oh, well, Megawatt did talk about it. She was telling me because I asked the same question too. She was saying that it's that time. It's that time in the chart.
Cassie has a psychic that's guiding her and telling her when to do this. And this was waited on for 2 years. The papers have been written. The things have been with the attorney. The statements have been made. Everything has been done, and just waiting.
They was just waiting to pull the trigger. And then I asked, I'm like, well, shit, why ain't she get him for like $100 million? Because they was even if he had to ask for help to pay that bitch off, they was not gonna let her drag that shit through the mud. You know what I mean? I mean, because if I was her, I'd have been like, I need $100 million, and then they'd have been like, all right, we're going to court, and I'd have been like, well, fuck it.
Well,
Then I know she don't want to have her dirty laundry out there either.
She don't want her laundry out there too. And the more of a bag you get at the end of the day, the more of a target becomes on your back later down.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. I think that's probably something that she considered as well.
It definitely is.
Well, and it's also like you don't want to quote unquote disrespect the people, right? If they're going to give you 30 million, which they might only give you $1 million, whatever, but you don't want to disrespect them by saying, "No, I want 100 million," because then they finna end everything for you.
Yeah, but what
the hell
they're giving you that.
They're giving you that to get the fuck out the way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But that $100 million is well worth. Well, shit, It's nothing compared to what the fuck she went through. If
Yeah.
what she says is true, which is obviously probably true because the dude settled so fast, 18 hours outside of court, like what they did to that young lady was despicable. Like it's shit. Like they did everything but kill her.
Hmm. Yeah.
So
So, and if you were a sideliner, or you were a not sure, I don't think this really is stuff that happens, or the music business is a great industry for me to get my child into, you know, at 7 years old. If you had any of these beliefs, or television, or commercials, or acting, or whatever, then you need to seriously, take notes and sit down, because she gave a snapshot of only what she had to say to get the job done. She didn't go into way too much detail, and she didn't provide not enough detail. She said exactly what she needed
right.
to, and exactly how she needed to say it. And she had people coaching her. And that's what a lot of people don't understand about energy work. And I'm going to just
Yeah.
use it in that setting because it's easiest for me to say.
Yeah.
What we do cannot be quantified. We tell people, here is where this problem is. Here's what's going on in this situation. Here is how this document needs to be written. Here's what this person is hiding. We can do a lot of things, and people don't understand. Police forces use people like this to find people. Documents for court are written based off of information given from these people. There's a lot of
Yeah.
stuff behind the scenes that people
You're right.
do not
There was a lady
understand.
that I used to watch. She was hired by some police department down in the south somewhere, some small town, and she ain't never been fucking wrong. She was never wrong. She hit on every single one, and I was just like, God damn, like, hey, you ain't got to show me. I mean, you ain't got to
Right.
make, you know what I mean? Like, that's enough proof for me. You know what I mean? Like,
Hey,
and
didn't Cassie and Jennifer Lopez do a song together?
I
I
can
don't
look
know
up. I
about
don't
that.
know.
I'm pretty sure because Cassie, I think, has got really short hair in that video. I'm pretty sure they did. I almost know they did, but
Hold on, I'm about to look up.
I might be
Look on
wrong though.
YouTube. Cassie and
That's kind of odd. Like I would think maybe like Cassie might have like, I don't know. What do you think? You think she like possibly confided in, told J-Lo something?
Well, she talked to a lot of people.
Because I
She
mean, I'm just saying, like she knew her and Diddy had a relationship prior or previously. Sorry. So I was just wondering if you thought maybe they talked about stuff.
I'm also gonna just say this about him too. Um, Unfortunately, he, who shall not be named, because I'm not going to say his name anymore. We've said it enough for the whole year, but he also has psychic gifts too. And I don't want that to become something that doesn't get looked at. So he can go on the astral, and he sees things, and he can hear things from deceased people, and they visit him. And a lot of the substances that he ingests into his personal self are to deal with the fact that that is happening to him, and that he's not necessarily always comfortable with it. So that's why he says statements like, well, when I drink, this happens, or when I do this, this happens, because he's taking things for a specific purpose to alleviate a problem that his conscious has created for his own personal self. So don't, he has those gifts too. So he's using them the wrong way.
Gotcha.
yeah, and I can't find that song, man, because the internet is
Nah,
so
I don't
it's so
think they did.
flooded.
I
It's
think
so
it was
flooded though with just all of this shit. Young Miami talks
yeah.
about shit that happened with Diddy,
I
Ryan
think that might be
Leslie.
Nicki Minaj I was thinking about.
Yeah,
But anyway,
there's a
but
lot
yeah,
of
I mean
people,
shit,
bro.
man. This is definitely probably something it doesn't have to be necessarily all about Diddy, but just how all this shit works. We should
Well,
definitely
yeah,
talk about
this
it
is
again.
just the music industry in general, guys. Like this, we bring this to light. We're just using this one as a pure example of what is actually going on out here. And like Megawatt she made a point before, just in her introduction, how important music is. Music is something that can heal people. Music is something that can bring us together. Music is something that can fucking change your whole fucking mood, life, all of that shit. It can inspire you to be a better you, or it can bring you down. It can manipulate you. It can trick you. It can do all the opposite. You know, as bright as music can be, is as dark as it can be as well. So, you know, she made the point in saying that it's important that we understand who's behind all of this music and that we listen to today, because it will have an effect on you, spiritually, physically, and emotionally. So yeah, bro, that's the broader point. That's the broader aspect of today's show. Is that this is actually something that's happening in our current music industry, and it's like
Yep.
and it's happening by design.
You know, sometimes I've thought about what's the guy's name? The Treyway guy that snitched.
6ix9ine.
6ix9ine. Tekashi.
Tekashi 6ix9ine.
I swear, bro, like I think he's like somebody's bottom boy or something. Because I mean, just think about all the stuff.
Yeah.
And then supposedly he's untouched, but then he's always getting beat up somewhere. Like, who's beating him up? What's really going on?
Good question.
Because how the fuck did he get out of all that without getting murdered too?
Oh yeah, he must.
You literally went up in there and told on the Bloods that you was fucking with, that put money into you, that made you who you were, and you snitch on the motherfuckers, and you still alive? I don't know, man. I don't know about that one though.
Or the reason
I ain't saying I want him to die. I'm just saying, like, I don't know about that one. You know what I mean? Like,
the reason why I'd say is because he got more information that could fuck him even more. But at the same time, shit, he snitched on them cats because of how they was doing them.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, they was humping his girlfriend and stealing his money.
That's what I'm getting at. I'm like, okay, so if they're doing this, so like, just think about the people that don't want to hump his girlfriend. What if they want to hump him?
Right.
You know what I mean? He might have ran into a Diddy or some shit. I don't know, man.
Yeah, but there's a reason why you're right. There's a reason why he ain't, he snitched on all of those people and nothing ain't happened to him.
So probably the next time if we do talk about it, I want to talk about like the energy and the energy imprint of these actions and what it does to your physical body and your spirit. Like I want people to understand that, like, what is happening. It's not just you walking and seeing person A doing a favor for person B. It's not that simple. It's really not.
No, it's more contract work.
Yeah, it's very detailed.
Yeah,
like a lot of these cats get in this game, and that's why I don't think Lil Nas X is gay. I think that this game is so inverted and turned upside down that the game is a straight
whatever the fuck they gotta do, bro.
Yep, they will do
whatever they gotta do. Some people will do anything they have to do.
Yeah,
right.
But there's implications energetically to that you can't just take a shower and get clear of after the fact. So and that's something that I think I want to maybe explain if you want me to.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. But right now
we did cover some ground today, so.
Oh yeah, well, we can pick it up next time. I mean, shit, we got about 12 minutes left. Nova came back right in time. But I appreciate everybody joining us for this Fuck Around Find Out Tuesday, which you fuck around and found out that Diddy ain't who Diddy say Diddy is. He may be Mr. Take that in real life.
Right. Well, think about this, man. Dude comes out, look, the guy you was just talking about, Lil Nas X. He comes out with Old Town Road, which has Billy Ray Cyrus on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then Billy Ray Cyrus vouches for him and says, look, y'all should look at him for country music. You shouldn't X him out just because it's got a different sound or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then not too long after that, he's gay.
Yeah.
And all the videos are just totally, completely fucking different than the music that was going on before that.
Before. Yep.
And I mean, I don't know. Like, I guess you could pretend not to be gay, but that's definitely what he was doing if he really is gay, because he didn't act gay. He didn't say nothing about being gay, nothing like that. And
Right.
then
It
all
just
of a
came out of
sudden, when he
nowhere.
needed to be accepted, he was
Yeah,
gay.
he was gay. Ain't that crazy? And do you know how he blew up? And that's why I was like, bro, I'm so convinced. That's just me. I'm convinced
Supposedly, he
that
got that beat from somebody, but then that beat actually had a sample in it that they got sued for.
right.
It's just a whole big crazy ordeal.
Like I said, I've already made my decision up on that. I really think that the real gay dude in in this music industry, he's not really gay. He's just pretending to be gay because that is a big ass community who's gonna support him no matter fucking what. And
Yep.
then he knows he's gonna blow the fuck up, or maybe somebody told him. Maybe it's part of his contract. Like, all right, look, you can make it big as an artist, but you got to be gay.
Right.
Like Megawatt saying, it's
Well,
a lot
that's
of
like Daddy
contractual
Yankee,
work.
bro. Daddy Yankee was never bisexual, never getting anything. And now all of a sudden he's bisexual. Like, what? I'm not Daddy Yankee, my bad. Fuck, what's that dude's name? Never mind.
What song did he do?
He sounds kind of like Daddy Yankee. Fuck.
I think I know who you're talking
I
about
can't
though.
remember who it is.
Yeah,
But yeah, you
this is a whole big game, and people really just need to understand that, like, you know, having talent is one thing and it can get you so far, but having talent and connections is really, the difference, and those
yep.
connections don't always have a positive impact. And
Nope.
um you never, you might think you can read the fine print, but the fine print always has an addendum, or there's always something, next that's going to be taking place. So, and you never know. And it isn't just one type of music, rock music, rap
Right.
music, it's country
Right.
music, it's all the different genres of music, it's everywhere. And
That sell your soul statement hasn't been used in all of music just because it's not.
and the act of that is not
Yeah.
what people think it
Right.
means.
Right.
It's totally different. And
Yes.
if you want to look at a good example, or you could even say it's a bad example of how this goes off track, Kanye is a perfect example of how
hmm
this whole program, it's written, it's installed, here it's an operating system, blah, 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 and
Right.
here's how this is going to, work out. And then all of a sudden, something happens, something changes, and that operating system is not working the way that they said it would or designed it to. And now you got a person, wearing leather skirts, telling everybody their business when they're not supposed to be doing that.
right.
So it's a perfect example. And he has other people at play in his negotiations and contracts, but um, his programming is not solid, so he
Right.
cannot be solid.
He's teeter tottering.
Hmm.
He's about to go down.
Yeah, they don't know what they want to. They haven't figured out what they want to do with Kanye yet, but they got something planned for him, I'm sure. But he disappeared ever since. He was making all of those statements, then all of a sudden he disappeared again, and he came out with a new girlfriend that looked just like.
Well, and it's interesting because he's one of these people who don't need a girlfriend. He
Right,
has a different preference. So,
right.
if he has a girlfriend, y'all are real confused when you say that.
Well, she's just a mustache.
Beard.
A lot of them are, man. Listen, I'm gonna say this, y'all. Music is a part of the the liberal arts community, or the artsy community. Now, I don't know if y'all remember ever having to take, speech class or any of those artsy type of other classes that maybe you didn't want to do because it wasn't masculine enough. Me, I did all of them artsy shits, because all of the pretty girls was in them. So I'm trying to tell y'all, like, the the community that makes up the music industry is mostly gay. But people wouldn't want to believe you if you say that. Like, I ain't got no problem with gay people, like, but that's just what it is. It's made up of gay people. I mean,
Yep.
Well, and I don't have anything against people who are gay. I really don't care what you are.
yeah,
You are
yeah,
what you are what you ever you are, and you have to sleep with yourself and go to bed and
hmm
be who
I
you
don't.
are.
Right.
Um, but the thing of it is pretending to be the opposite of what you are
Yes.
is always what gets me, and always what it's standing out to me. It's saying I need someone to look more into this because I'm not what I say I am, and I'm pretending to be exactly the opposite of that. That is
hmm
a concern that I can't
Yeah.
get past.
They trying to play. They're trying to live that double life,
Hmm.
and then
Or
double life
and
don't work.
and here's the thing: if you have strange preferences, let's just call it that, the stranger they are, the 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 ceiling for how strange a preference is changes. Something that you're interested in at 21 can no
Right.
longer keep you interested at 30. You have to
For real.
change your preferences. So
For
now
sure.
if you're looking at if you were interested in people who are 21 at 21, now you're 30 and you're looking at people who are 21 or maybe 19. And
hmm
this whole thing compounds differently, and you have to use different math, and the same thing that got you interested is no longer keeping you interested, and you've got to
hmm
change things up. And when you start to change things up, it's not the same game as it was once.
Can get your ass in trouble.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Exactly.
this is really the fuck around and find out
But
industry. So it's
hey,
be careful who you tell this stuff to, because
yeah.
first of all, they can, once they know what your ideal world is, they'll make it happen for you. And there'll be a
Yep.
video camera in that room, and there'll be people taking pictures, and you don't even know because you took some medicine that they gave you when you got there, and now you don't remember anything. And, it might sound fun to go to a talk show host house for lunch, but I can guarantee you when you leave, you're not going to be the same person you were when you got there.
Don't invite me.
Yeah. So if you receive an invite, you need to be extremely clear on what is going to go down, and you better not go outside of the dining room area where the lunch is being served, because I can guarantee you there's going to be some other shit going on.
Oh
And I'm not going to
man.
say whose name it is because it don't matter. I can name 5 people who fit into that talk show host, have stuff going on at their house. Doesn't
Ellen
matter.
DeGeneres.
Doesn't matter. White people, not white people, who doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, if I was to go over there, that damn place is gonna get shot up.
Well, if you can figure out how to shoot a shotgun after taking a Quaalude, maybe.
I ain't gonna have no damn shotgun.
Another Quaalude, she
I'll
love
go
me in
over
the
there.
morning.
So let me ask you this: Do you think there's a secret stash of Quaaludes somewhere?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
They no.
Yeah. Just
That's why.
they're
Listen,
they're
though,
the same place the seeds are.
that's so crazy, right? Because now that you think about it, the government wants access to all these opiates, and then all the shit that they be using these opiates for in the music industry and medical industry and so forth and so on. That shit is just so wild to think. Like, no wonder they need access to all of
Well,
these
and
opiate fields.
if you really want to fuck around and find out, go online and watch the infomercial or the commercial or whatever you want to call it, the predictive programming for a diagnosis of a health condition called tardic dyskinesia. I don't know if I'm saying that right. It's a weird name. If I said it wrong, my bad. But it's about where all these people who did all these drugs back in the 70s and 80s, and whenever all this was 60s was going on, all these people are about to start having this problem, because all of those drugs affect you, that you can't just take them and then put them in your system, and then when they leave, they don't just leave. There's an imprint of this medication. So go ahead and look that up and see how fun it is for your grandma who has tardic dyskinesia. You have to figure out, well, why does my grandma have this? Well, your grandma probably hung out with Robert Plant a few too many times.
Oh man. Well, we got about 2 minutes left.
Yeah,
And we're gonna
I'm
run
about
out
to
of
leave,
time.
so I'm gonna mute myself. But
All
Appreciate
right.
you. Star of the
I
show.
hope that answered a few questions.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. You held it
Great
all
job.
together for us. Hell yeah. Because I'm still
Great job.
recovering. Oh, I got the noodle brain, the noodle body, still trying to build myself back up. But we will be back for What the Fuck Wednesday for sure.
Yeah, we will definitely be back. And I'm not going to be cleaning out water softeners with chemicals anymore because that shit will make you sit your ass down for a little bit. But yeah, we'll be back tomorrow with the What the Fuck Wednesday. And until then,
Think
just
high.
think high.
Yes, sir.